You guys been wondering, why is Rihanna so quiet? Why is she so quiet? I thought she was for, young girls and women. She's doing all this finny body positivity. But why is she so quiet? Knowing that she is Jay Z's victim. Knowing that Beyonce don't like her. Y'all have not noticed? Why hasn't Rihanna and Beyonce done a song together? Because they can't stand each other. Yeah, they cannot stand each other. Allegedly, honey, Rihanna was messing around with Jay Z, or Jay Z was growing Rihanna messing with her behind Beyonce back. Okay, Beyonce been thinking that Rihanna was going to steal her spot and Rihanna was going to be, Jay Z's next wife. Okay, that is how Jay Z was mind playing Beyonce, had her on her P's and Q's. Pretty much, Jay Z is nothing but a pimp, pimping these girls, honey. Got Rihanna and Beyonce mind all messed up. But girl, I gotta show y'all this video. This video tells a tale of Rihanna made Beyonce cry crazy. Y'all gotta see this. Y'all have to see this. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. I appreciate it. Let's look. You guys know react. Let's see what's going on with this video.
I know there has been a lot of speculation about if Jay Z really messed with Rihanna back in the day. And with everything coming up about Jay, the streets are bringing up all the receipts, including one where Rihanna allegedly made Beyonce cry her eyes out after Jay Z walked into a party hand in hand with RiRi. Reportedly, once again, Solange is the one who helped Beyonce through that very embarrassing and devastating moment. Child, we are going to be talking about all that and once and for all cover the bases about what really happened between Rihanna and Jay Z. So you better get seated. Okay, for starters, we all know that Beyonce was the first one in the industry. And when Rihanna joined after her hit Pon de Replay, she signed to Jay Z's record label. Of course, Ri also got to interact with Beyonce in the process. And in the beginning, Rihanna was actually singing Beyonce's praises. And she said a few times that she looked up to Bey.
A big fan of Beyonce.
I love her.
And so has she given you any kind of advice or?
Yeah, she actually wrote me this cute little letter and she signed it with her autograph. It was so cute. When I first met her, and she wrote, she was telling me, just let loose when you perform and just have fun and be in control.
Now, what a lot of people may not know is that Beyonce actually contributed to Rihanna's label giving her more attention, but it was at the expense of another artist, Tiara Marie. I know this because in an excerpt from his memoir, Sing to Me, My Story of Making Music, Finding Magic, and Searching for Who's Next, L.A. Reid wrote that when he first met Rihanna, he had just laid eyes on her in the hallway, and he didn't know she was a singer or anything. Like she was just a pretty girl standing outside somebody's office. But Jay Z had already heard Rihanna sing, so he pushed hard for her to be signed. L.A. Reid also wrote, after signing Rihanna, Jay Z and his team did the A&R for her first album, and I had nothing to do with it. The funny thing about Rihanna's success was that we signed two girls at that time, Rihanna and a lovely young lady named Tiara Marie. According to what L.A. Reid revealed, after watching both Rihanna and Tiara perform, he was more inclined to make Tiara his star artist. But Beyonce gave him a certain look and then told him to pick Ri, and that's how he chose Rihanna over Tiara. See, at the time, a lot of people said that the real reason Beyonce wanted Rihanna to be picked over Tiara was because they felt that RiRi wasn't much of a threat, but she apparently felt threatened by Tiara Marie's talent and basically just sabotaged her, especially since Jay had already called her Princess of the Rock. But in a rather unexpected turn of events, Rihanna ended up being amazing and posed an even greater threat to Beyonce, not just to her career, but also to her relationship with her man, Jay Z. Now, I know we've heard the stories, and one that has been making rounds recently is how at one time Beyonce was at a party, but she arrived there alone. Then allegedly, a few moments later, Jay Z walked into the party with Rihanna by his side, and they were looking all lovey-dovey. Now, based on what I've heard, after Beyonce saw Jay Z and Rihanna, she started sobbing uncontrollably, and she was even hyperventilating. But guess what? Allegedly, Jay Z didn't pay her any attention. It's like he did not even care that his girl was sobbing uncontrollably because he had walked in holding another woman. In fact, based on reports, Jay Z and Rihanna continued having a good time at the party, and Solange was the one who had to comfort Beyonce. Child, if Jay Z could embarrass Beyonce like this so publicly, can you just imagine the things he may have done to have his way behind the scenes? I mean, this just goes to prove even further that he has always had some sort of control over Beyonce. Actually, a lot of control, because people have never understood why she stayed. Now back to this Rihanna business. There's actually some other stuff that has come up in the last couple of weeks. For instance, the biography Becoming Beyonce by J. Randy Taraborelli that was released in 2015 recently resurfaced, and it says in there that the Carters reportedly separated for a year in 2005. Apparently, this split coincided with Jay's scouting of Rihanna, which sparked rumors of a supposed affair. In fact, fact, while speaking to Entertainment Tonight at the time, Randy said, Beyonce didn't know what to make of this, and it actually ended up breaking them up for a time. They spent maybe a year apart from each other because Beyonce just wasn't sure of what to make of the situation with Rihanna. Well, when things got really bad and the rumors of an affair were spreading like wildfire, Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan, said that they came up with a rumor to push Rihanna's career by saying in an email, the PR stunt that I did was out of desperation to help break upon the replay. It was reckless, and I didn't think it was going to work. I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick. The publicist also said that they didn't think it would be that big of a story, but seeing Beyonce suffer and knowing that people were profiting from speculations and opinions about her really turned his stomach. Then he added, I'm ashamed that I'm even talking about this. I just want to put this rumor to rest once and for all. Well, this is something that Randy also noted in the biography. But the way that we know Jay Z, I personally would not be surprised if the publicist was threatened into saying that he started the rumor. Plus, there were a lot of other receipts indicating that Jay Z and Rihanna were having an affair. By the way, speaking of the publicist, a few weeks ago, Jonathan was talking about how his phone had been blowing up since the Jay Z stories started making rounds again. And he wrote on an Instagram post, I was mentioned in this explosive and viral documentary by Trap Lore Ross that was featured on @Academics that made my phone blow up for the past week. Recently, @Jaguar Wright has talked about this controversial situation as well, as I was the publicist for Upon the Replay, the debut single by Rihanna. It's time for me to finally set the record straight once and for all, as it's way beyond shocking, messy, and just flat out crazy AF. Prepare to be blown away, as what William Mosley and I have been through over the years involving this historical scandal needs to be put to bed for good. Yes, heads are going to roll and people will be floored, but the truth needs to be revealed. Then in a follow-up interview, Jonathan said that he was stopped by federal agents who he said were keeping close tabs on Jay since his incident with Lance on Rivera, and he was also being implicated in an incident with R. Kelly during their joint tour. Jonathan said that one day, unmarked law enforcement cars stopped him, and the intimidating individuals introduced themselves as a federal task force, and they requested to speak with him. So he followed them to talk, and he was in a complete state of panic. He said that as he sat in the desolate makeshift interrogation room, and while they questioned him, the gravity of the situation became clear to him. Apparently, the feds clarified that they were investigating Hove for allegedly engaging in X-rated activity with Rihanna when she had not yet turned 18 and illegally transporting her across international borders. And the feds said she wasn't the only one. There were many others. Again, this only goes to prove that there was possibly something going on between Jay Z and Rihanna, and maybe even illegal stuff. But you want to know what really got me? Allegedly, Jay Z was also the reason why Chris Brown and Rihanna broke up. So the story of what happened between Rihanna and Chris Brown was that they were in a Lamborghini the night prior to the Grammys in 2009 when RiRi confronted Chris about smashing another woman. Then they started fighting, and Rihanna ended up with a busted lip, a eye, and bruised her face. According to what Chris said, Rihanna grabbed his crotch while she was trying to get his phone off him, and in retaliation, he also bit her and did what he did next. He then said that Rihanna got out of the car and started to scream, "Help, he's trying to unalive me." And he was like, "Stop, we're gonna get in trouble." But then there has been another version to this story, saying that when Chris Brown and Rihanna were together, he got mad after Rihanna gave him an STD, which she had gotten from Jay Z. And after Chris confronted Rihanna for always having something in her mouth, Rihanna followed Chris to the Lamborghini and started fighting him for embarrassing her, and Chris retaliated. Allegedly, Chris Brown was forced by Jay Z to give the version of the story that he gave because Jay didn't want anything else to come out about him and Rihanna.
Like, people don't understand what happened that night. And that's because Jay Z worked so hard to change the narrative of that night. Now, Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started for her and signed to the death jail. It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most involved with, and that was Sean Carter. So here it is. Chris Brown has his first herpes outbreak from a celebrity girlfriend who he was set up with, and it was supposed to be this and it was supposed to be that, and he was there so people wouldn't pay attention to the fact that she was Jay Z.
Damn, Jaguar always spilling the hottest tea. Child, I don't know for certain if there's truth to that particular story, but what I can tell you is that enough has been said about the alleged affair between Jay Z and Rihanna. So when people heard about Jay Z arriving at a party with Rihanna and watched as Beyonce sobbed, people were really not surprised. But people are also struggling with how Rihanna appeared to be a willing participant in that drama. Like, she was just okay embarrassing Beyonce like that? Girl, maybe this is why Beyonce and Rihanna have never worked together. But you know what? Let me know what you think of this resurfaced drama in the comments.
Girl, this was too juicy. It was too juicy. I gotta know, what do y'all think about this? I gotta know. Put your comments below. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. And I'll see you guys on the next upload, okay?